Okay, guys, happy Monday. Thank you for joining our February Q&A.
We started?
We are live.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so what Ryan said, thank you guys for joining our Monday Zoom. This is our month of February Q&A. So we try to do our Q&A one time a month and usually the last Monday of every month, unless for some reason we have like a product launch that's going to take precedence over that. So we have mentioned this and we've received a few questions, but the questions do not need to be emailed in. You can type them into the chat and we're going to address the few that we have, talk about a few that have also been repeat questions, and then we're going to go to the chat. So if you have questions, please write it in now. And we'll start going through it. And this is really a great opportunity, not only for you to get your questions answered, but also you might not think about certain questions that other people ask. And then they ask them and then get these answers and it really benefits you too. So stay on through the whole thing, even if your question does gets answered, because they will all help you. As well as if you don't get your question answered, that might mean that it's just too personal. And I would say, go ahead and email me the question. That way I can respond to you directly. Or if someone jumps on late and maybe the question has already been answered, that way we don't repeat this and make this an hour long. Try to keep these about half an hour. Okay. Ready?
I thought we tried to do 15 minutes, but I don't know that we've been.
It never, right. We always try. Okay, a couple things that I just want to address that are just, it's also in our FAQ on our website, but pregnancy and breastfeeding. When it comes to this, I'm not saying that the products are not okay for pregnancy or breastfeeding, but you must speak to your OBGYN, your doctor, prior to supplementation. And that's the same thing that goes with children under 18. Currently, all of our products are formulated and dosed for children 18 plus. So if you have a child that's under 18 years of age, again, doesn't mean that these products are bad for them. It's just they're not formulated and dosed for them. So I recommend you speaking with your child's pediatrician, knowing that we do have a children's organic gummy multivitamin coming out soon.
I hate that answer, but I know why we have to answer that way. It's like a legal protection disclaimer thing. Because if you're pregnant, if you're preparing for pregnancy, you need to have higher amounts of folate to prevent neural tube defect. I mean, that's a congenital birth defect that can be prevented with just adequate amounts of folic acid and B vitamins. Then, of course, there's DHA, one of the omega-3 fatty acids. Of course, you need that for healthy cellular development, brain health, brain development. But I hate the fact that, yeah, you have to check with your obstetrics or gynecologist or whoever, whatever. But it's just because that's the world we live in.
Right, right. And I can say personally,
I could
if I
tell
was
you,
pregnant or breastfeeding, I would 100% use them.
Yeah.
And likewise, for
that would be a multivitamin in the factor 4.
Right.
But of course, you'd want more vitamin D, right? Especially if you're in the cooler winter months where you're not getting out. And of course, magnesium, right? We know that pregnant women that have preeclampsia, like high blood pressure during pregnancy, are being given magnesium if they are admitted into a hospital for blood pressure. It's part of 300 biochemical reactions. Of course, the fetus needs that magnesium as well. It's frustrating, but yeah, the children's multi has a good point, though. That will be an awesome.
Right. And again, not saying no to either of those topics. It's just you need to discuss with your pediatrician or your OBGYN prior to. Okay, essential oils being shipped internationally. We are working on this. It's a lot of hoops that we're going to need to go through if this is going to happen. And we didn't know how difficult it was to actually ship essential oils internationally, but each country has its own specifications, what kind of box it has to be in, what labeling, what certain, all different criteria. So just a process that we're going to work on and see how we can get there the best we can. Dosing of vitamin D. I don't know if you want to address this one, but obviously our vitamin D is 2,000 international units. That's for one capsule. Mind you, we do put 60 capsules in our vitamin D supplement because a lot of people do need more than that 2,000 international units. So there, if you want to keep it a 30-day supply, maybe you need 2. But this is based on your doctor's recommendations, really based on your blood work. So 2,000 international units, I'm sure Ryan will want to chime in on this more, but it's like the lowest dose that you can maintain a level of vitamin D that your body needs. So if you are really deficient, you're probably going to need to load that a little more to achieve the level that you want. And then you maintain that level with 2,000 international units. Anything to add on to that?
Yeah, have your levels checked. Even if it's just part of routine blood work, most docs are not ordering it. God knows only why. I have no idea. It's cheap. It's super affordable. Even if the insurance company doesn't pay for it, who cares? Pay for it. 2,5 hydroxy vitamin D is the test you'd want to get. And if you look at the ranges again, it's just to prevent vitamin D disease, really. It's sad. It's actually quite pathetic how low the numbers are. You should be aiming for 30 to 50 nanograms per ml. Many practitioners in the functional space are saying get over 50 nanograms per ml. Some are saying 100. I am definitely not giving medical advice on saying get to 100. That is very high. Remember, vitamin D is one of the fat-soluble vitamins, so it can accumulate in our tissue and it can become toxic in very high doses. It can be hard on the body and the kidneys. So careful with vitamin D. That said is why we chose 2,000 units per capsule. So you have that flexibility. You can go to 4,000 if you're low, and then 2,000 should maintain you 2,000 per day. So 1 cap per day should maintain you somewhere in that range of 30 to 50 nanograms per ml. But if you're not there, get there. And for some people, do some research, but you might want to be over 50. Lisa's one of them. She wants to be over 50. I maintain right around 50 consistently, and I do about 2,000 to 4,000 a day, depending on my sun exposure, depending on my activity, all that. So 2,5 hydroxy vitamin D. Get your blood levels checked.
Okay, next, so we did have an affiliate write in a question about, it's called informed choice. So it's almost as if we have our labeling, if something is third-party tested, CGMP, NSF. This is just another one of those certifications. So Ryan will go into a little bit of the differences and why it's not necessarily necessary to add on to what we already have.
If you just Google Amazon contaminated supplements, you'll see a study that came out, and it was like a crazy number high of how many products were adulterated. So they're contaminated with, say, in this example, banned substances. Typically, you're seeing banned substances in the weight loss category. So they'll add stimulants, sexual health, they'll add derivatives, or actually real Viagra has been detected in some sexual health products, as well as sports performance. So the International Olympic Committee, obviously collegiate associations, professional organizations, NFL, MLB, Canadian, they're international. So they devised a way to test for banned substances. And there's a couple of different options. You can do NSF Sport, or you can do Informed Choice. They're both basically accrediting or certifying bodies that will test your supplement, say, oh, you're approved. You do not have any of the banned substances in it, so you can use their badge on your products. It's really about marketing and promoting. And of course, it's for the athletes to have peace of mind that there is no banned substance in those products. It's important. I agree that it's important. But what's more important is to be working with a manufacturing partner that does exactly CGMP. And CGMP is good manufacturing practices. It's continuous. It's always updated. And actually, the one that we use is under NSF. So if we so choose to put on NSF Sport, we could have our products tested for NSF Sport. The reason we don't do it is because we don't have any banned substances in our products. As a matter of fact, you'll see all the testing. The testing will show you everything. So they are already testing for contaminants and adulterants. So they're ensuring that what we say is in the product is exactly what's in there. So that's your identity. And then of course there's potency. So we're saying how much of what we put in there is exactly what's in there. And then of course, purity. So we're testing for contaminants, and that's not just, we're testing for lots of contaminants, including molds, mildews, bacteria, metals, and such. So there's an extensive testing protocol under CGMP. Of course, these other companies that were putting banned products in there, of course, you can probably find some manufacturing facility that is willing to just do whatever to make money and get it done. That's greed. That's egregious behavior. It's not something we condone. I appreciate the fact that these agencies exist. It is a business model for them. And we just don't, at this time, we don't deem it necessary. We don't need it. We are confident in the purity of our products.
Okay. And last one for you to just touch on. We've touched on this before with methylene blue, but we get the common question about certain medications, typically the SSRIs, where the literature will state, to avoid methylene blue if on SSRIs due to serotonin syndrome, which is, yes, a real thing. But again, those are for, as Ryan always says, high doses of methylene blue, typically like IV form where it's going straight into the bloodstream. And that's, again, super high doses. Ours is the lowest therapeutic dose. We feel that it is safe to take safe and beneficial while taking SSRIs. But again, we always recommend discussing with your doctor.
Yeah, so you'll typically see, if you search that interaction, you'll see it referencing high doses, typically 3 to 5 milligrams per pound or something like that, something crazy, like 4, 6, 4 to 6, maybe even 800 milligrams of methylene blue. There is a big difference between those high doses and the difference of what we have in our single strip, which is 20 milligrams. The awesome part about it is the 20 milligrams still shows clinically efficacious dose. So you're still getting a lot of the benefits out of methylene blue at 20 milligrams without the need of having to titrate and go crazy with the amount that we're taught, that most of the studies have shown. Whereas, and methylene blue it's like I guess it's too technical, but it does drive serotonin. So if you are on a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which is common for generalized anxiety disorder, it's common for mood depressive disorder. It's one of the most commonly prescribed meds out there. My personal opinion on it is that the benefit very much outweighs the risk. But of course, with anything I'm going to tell you, you consult with your medical provider, let them look at the research. If they say, no, I see too many drug interactions or flags, say, but can you check the dosing? Because I was told that at this low dose of 20 milligrams for methylene blue, the benefit most likely outweighs the risk. I mean, the same thing goes with some of the other health conditions that you'll see, some of the antipsychotic meds. And of course, you start talking about the benefits for neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. I just can't imagine why somebody would not want to try and to get the benefit from methylene blue. Again, the legal system dictates so much of what we're allowed to say and do. So,
okay,
what's next?
let's go quickly through some of these. Do you have a plan to have weight loss products? So we don't believe in like that quick fix of a weight loss product. You take a pill and you're going to lose 20 pounds.
Well, if you do, like some of the meds are out right now, like the GLP-1s,
right?
It has other unintended consequences that you need to be mindful of.
Right.
Like if you are on an Ozempic-like drug, know that you're depleting your body of other important vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you must be supplementing with. I just want to chime in. Sorry.
Right. Yes. So now I would tell you, if you are balancing your body with all of the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that your body needs, it will start to work for you and weight loss will happen. Yes, will we work on a product that helps with metabolism? Yes, because sometimes we all need that little bit of a metabolism boost, especially if it gets into that sluggish state. But again, if it is a sluggish metabolism, that's all lifestyle. It really 100% is lifestyle. And I'm happy to help you understand how to lose weight with our products and with a healthy lifestyle.
Comment real quick on that. Yeah, like she said, with the metabolic support, that would not be like a thermogenic, similar to say caffeine and other stimulants, which you see a lot in the market with products. That's not a good, healthy, long-term solution. So she's right. It would be about lifestyle and improving your resting metabolic rate, basically what your caloric burn is, and it's a lot to do with lifestyle medicine. And we're definitely here to support you with that.
Yes. Would we ever come out with a liquid collagen? This is like,
here we go. This is totally fuel for my fire. This is in powder form, which means it's going to be liquid by the time you consume it. Put a scoop in warm water, enjoy it like a tea. It's amazing any time of day. Not a fan of liquid. I call them aqueous preparations because they lack stability. I can assure you that any liquid collagen on the market right now does not have stability testing. Be shocked. Go ahead and ask your people for that. Say, hey, what stability testing do you have to show me that my product is stable, say after 15 or 20 or 30 or 60, 90 days later in solution. It's not going to happen. It degrades rapidly. Water is not a friend of most chemical entities. So powder is superior. It has the most stability. It doesn't degrade. It holds off, it fends off from bacterial contamination, mold contamination, mildew, fungus.
No preservatives.
No preservatives needed. Trust me, that's how drug suppliers do their stuff. They put it in powder form. It's shipped in powder form. It's held in powder form until it's prepared and
right. So what means your liquid collagen you may be taking, that was once powder.
Yeah, of course.
Made into a liquid solution.
Yeah,
if you want to make it into a liquid solution, take the powder.
And then you have to preserve it. Then you also it's kind of crazy how much preservative they need. And a lot of times when we talk about like, is there preservative or how much preservative is in there? Because that's another thing, right? Like there might be like a little bit of natural flavor, but in the case like that might be a lot of preservative. So, and even though sorry, am I taking too long?
I feel like we gotta.
Oh, sorry. Preservative is really just trying to preserve the product from contamination, not doing anything for stability of the product. They're not talking about managing the pH because collagen can be sensitive to pH. So long story short, I don't love it. I don't love liquid collagen.
I want to look further into it. We also have the our YouTube training on our collagen, and Ryan goes
All right,
into those
what's next?
details.
What's next?
International delivery, I think this might be a question on typically 2 to 4 weeks. It depends on if you're getting it from the Germany warehouse or not. Can you do that? What about the sun? I'm assuming that's referring to our vitamin D. Yes, you can get vitamin D from the sun, but that would really be challenging to get sufficient vitamin D, as you would have to be in the sun at Okay, I think we just got dropped, but it looks like we're back on. He's back on YouTube.
Says the streaming, guys. I'm really sorry about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, don't know why. it
Poor
dropped
internet
us.
connection.
But I was saying with vitamin D, again, you would have to be out in the sun, prime time, 10 to 3, fully exposed. So that's no clothing, no sunscreen. And you'd have to do that every day. So really hard to do. We don't much have that opportunity.
But if you might be talking about methylene blue with sun too, because methylene blue is beneficial in the sun.
Oh, okay.
But there's also a lot of benefit to the sun with vitamin D. If you're out there, your body can generate 20,000 units of vitamin D in just a few minutes. It basically will make what the body needs and then kind of stop production. So please don't discount the benefits.
Super Reds in combination with blood pressure pills. It wouldn't cause lightheadedness. Maybe your body is starting to respond to supplementation, and maybe you need to work with your doctor of lowering your dose.
Well, no, of course, the dietary nitrates that are in the reds act like some of the blood pressure drugs on the market. They can cause vasodilation. They can lower blood pressure. They can potentially do all of that. So yeah, if you stand up too quickly or something like that, you can
Orthostatic hypotension.
Yeah, you can feel lightheaded, but I don't necessarily deem that as a problem. Monitor your blood pressure, please. Get a blood pressure monitor and always know your numbers.
Right, that's the biggest thing. So if your blood pressure is dropping too low, maybe you need to discuss things with your doctor.
Hey, Mohammed, we just answered the question about methylene blue on with SSRIs as far as diabetes goes. Again, I can't imagine a reason why you would not try it. I haven't been able to get labs in several tries, not covered by insurance, and the test was over $100. Vitamin D is not an expensive test. There's actually now, if you're in the United States, there are providers that will mail a kit to you, and you can take to a local blood draw. Where are we, Lise?
What ingredients methylene blue is made from? I've written it.
Our methylene blue is USP. It's the purest form of methylene blue, which is a very, very important part of methylene blue, because a lot of methylene blue is industrial grade, so it would contain a lot of metals and contaminants. Trust me, you need to be taking USP.
Remember, all the labels are on our website under the Learn More section. Just click on it. You can view everything that's in it. And then if you go to our certificates of analysis link, sorry, that's all the testing. We'll further show you what's in it. And again, if you have product questions, please email me, Lisa at livegood.com, not customer support, because it'll just take longer because they will send it to me.
Hey, Bruce, we just answered the question about vitamin D per hour of sun exposure. You potentially could get 20,000 units in just 20 minutes. So, all right, let's see. Do we have a release date for the gut health supplement? Yeah, we've expedited to move that faster. I want to help people that are suffering from gut dysbiosis and leaky gut and some of the other things. We're certainly fast tracking that. Give us another 6 to 8 weeks, probably. Melissa asked, what about Adderall with methylene blue? Of course, same comment, same response. Can't imagine why it would be a bad thing. All right, let's keep going, guys. Where? Collagen is awesome. Yes, certainly. Hey, Bruce. Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with definitely with the stomach paralysis of these weight loss meds. That actually is the mechanism of action of the drug. So I know there's about 55 lawsuits out there for pending, but that is not a reason not to try the med if you're clearly indicated and approved by your physician.
Yes, we ship to Australia. Best supplements to lower cholesterol, lower the bad, raise the good. We have a whole Zoom training on cholesterol. So please check that out. Again, our YouTube channel under the products category, we have the products playlist. We have all of our other past Zooms. Please check them out. We've covered quite a bit of information.
It's funny, Bruce, I know the lizard you're talking about with they derive the GLP-1s from. They actually originally, I think, isolated that out of the monkfish. They found out that they isolated the drug molecule, and then they went to that, and then it's an interesting history for sure.
I answered the essential oils at international.
Hi, Trisha.
If you're waiting on an order, please contact support@livegood.com, knowing that you're tracking links to every order in your back office under the order history tab. You'll see a little link, click on it. It'll show your tracking. If for some reason it's not coming up properly or there isn't one there, please contact customer support.
You've got a question here. When will we have a new product release? Yeah, I don't know what's going to be first, the new chocolate whey protein or the children's multi.
Stick packs or
the stick
feel like
packs
one
for hydration. It's going to be a lot. There's a lot right starting to stack up.
Yes.
The strength of the super magnesium, it's a complex. It has two. They're both chelated, but the primary ingredient is magnesium glycinate. We went with a basic 420 milligrams of magnesium because as you dose magnesium much higher, really the dose limiting effect is diarrhea, is loose stool. So we didn't want to go too high. For those that like higher magnesium levels, you can add another capsule.
And your body will tell you if it's too much.
Your body will let you know.
And that goes right into also supplements for constipation, magnesium, as well as our coffee, as well as lots of water. Hydrate,
please hydrate.
Chocolate whey protein coming soon. I know, I can't wait. Yes, methylene blue has lots of studies supporting the use with dementia. Lots. If you want some of those studies, email me, I'll send them to you. You do the B12?
Yep.
There's B12 in we have the full B vitamin complex actually in our multivitamin.
Methylated form of B12 and folate. That's a big deal. It's very important. Make sure. Go ahead.
Well, taking magnesium and B12 could help with good sleep. I would not take B vitamins close to bed, but
the magnesium you should take
yes.
at bed. That's one of the reasons why we kept the magnesium out of the multi. So the big announcement, Dwayne, that you heard from the call, there's a big announcement. That's in 60 days, roughly. So it's going to take time. We've got a lot of stuff going on the back end to make sure that when we launch it, it's ready.
Anything with factor 4, guys, if you ever get the factor 4 and you feel like it has a different or fishy scent, like we store in a climate controlled environment, but when it's shipped, it's not in a climate controlled environment. So just stick it in your refrigerator. Nothing has been changed. We are still working on the same batch. So I think, I know this person wrote in here and also emailed me, but if there was something wrong with this batch, these emails would be coming in and we would know as well because we take it every day.
And we have retains. So we'll test our retains just to ensure potency and quality. So that's another part of our quality assurance program that probably nobody knows about. It's extensive. It costs money. But again, so that I know when these things come through, I'm like, I'm okay. I still know that we're doing okay. So,
and in general, if you tend to belch out fish oil, some bodies just do it more. I mean, it's just a common thing. Stick it in the fridge as well. And also make sure you're eating with food. It helps.
Bruce, you're on a roll, man. That's good. What are you looking?
Okay.
Janet asked if we have a timeline on the children's gummy. It's a good question because I've been talking about this for so long.
But you pulled it off.
I pulled it off. I pulled it off and I went back and forth. Should I put iron in or not do iron? I had all these other like smaller, anyway, I basically redid the whole thing like 2 to 3 times. So I'm sorry about that. And they each require pre-runs and flavor and testing and all that stuff. So my bad. It should be it's approved and done. It should be out in probably the end of April.
So you had 2 people open methylene blue that was empty. Things do happen in manufacturing. This is funny. I have a friend that sent me a picture. She opened her methylene blue the other day and there was a bonus one. So she had 2. So it does happen, right? But if this wants to be rectified for, please email customer support. just always send in a picture, so of that empty packet or whatnot, because it helps them document. It's important to have this documentation. Did we disappear again?
No, I went over here to,
Did we already go through all this?
no, these are all. So guys, we just look really honestly, I'm just looking at Zoom questions. Now I just kind of bounced over to YouTube just to grab something that maybe we didn't.
I did see something about essential oils are being shipped to Mexico. So right now, essential oils are shipped to US, Mexico, and Canada. And again, working on fully international if we can make it happen.
Hey, Ivan. Oh man. My buddy Ivan.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, a lot of these are covered. A lot of them are just what are you saying?
I would say go back. Wait.
I do see a question about vitamin D. So I'm assuming that you're saying you're taking 40,000 international units for 4 years and my levels are 80 or 90. Is that 80? Yeah, look, as long as you know your levels and you're happy where you're at and you feel good and all that, that's what matters. We just don't want to be deficient or so dangerously low that we have risk of disease.
So someone's asking about taking the E3 and creatine if they haven't trained for a while. These are not just supplements for physical performance, especially in the gym. Creatine is so important for everybody, not just to help with maintain muscle mass. Again, first sign of aging begins in our 30s is our muscle mass loss, but also creatine is so beneficial for the brain. So if you want, just look it up. Look up creatine in the brain. It is being pushed now saying that everybody should be taking creatine. And E3 is great for any motivation, great ingredients for all, but you also asked about taking it before your coffee. Mind you, E3 has 125 milligrams of caffeine. So I would not take it pretty close to a coffee because a little bit too much caffeine.
We're almost at 30 minutes. There's some good
Okay.
ones still coming in. Hey, Terry asked about are there any adverse reactions with any of the ingredients in our products with other pharmaceutical medications like BP, diabetes meds, etc. The answer is actually probably the opposite. Most of your prescription drugs are causing drug-induced nutrient depletions. We did a separate Zoom on that. If you want, you can email me the list of meds. I would be happy to just say, hey, these are the depletions that occur due to these medications. As an example, a water pill diuretic for blood pressure, which is #1 prescribed, can flush out magnesium, potassium, and alter your electrolyte balance.
I was actually just reading an article. I hope I saved it. But it was about a class of medications that actually impairs our glucose. So it can,
Well, yeah, of
medications
course.
leading to, but it was just something that's not like.
You're talking about a statin drug, probably.
Maybe it was, but
Yeah.
it's just think about all these things that you're on. So there's many people on statins to help with, cholesterol, but then what it can be doing to your blood sugar
Potentially for
and then
blood sugar,
leading you
diabetes.
to diabetes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
We're not suggesting come off your statin drug, but I'm
Yes.
going to add to that and say your statin drug is also causing a boatload of nutrient deficiencies. So be aware, be informed, and take precautionary measures, right?
Got it.
Another example is the one for what's that? Reflux, acid
Oh.
reflux. So GERD, that drug has a big problem for gut health because it alters the pH, right?
Right.
So
And
there's a
so
lot
many-
of those drugs, and so you're not absorbing as much of certain nutrients and vitamins, and of course, you're altering the microbiome.
right. And think
So
about
help
a
protect
lot of times when you have acid reflux, you feel the acid in your gut, and then you're told to take, an acid inhibitor, and then it does the opposite.
But Terry, to your question, as far as drug interactions, typically no, typically not. There's nothing in there that would be contraindicated. I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing out a supplement that's contraindicated. There might be some things that I would caution on. I'd say, well, if you have out of control, uncontrolled hypertension, like high blood pressure, yeah, maybe don't drink the E3 or the coffee because the caffeine is a stimulant and can raise blood pressure acutely. There's some examples like that, but not really contraindications. Sorry, long-winded answer,
Yeah.
but that's pharmacy stuff and I kind of love it.
Someone's asking about the caffeine in our products. It is on the label. So right here, I'm holding our E3, organic caffeine from tea, 125 milligrams. Here's our coffee, contains caffeine, 100 milligrams. So it's on our bottles and it's on our labels, which are on the website.
I love the screen name, Sweet Melissa. Sweet Melissa, you need something for hormone replacement support? Yes, we agree. We actually have a hormone support product coming out. It's been a challenge because of the extracts. We wanted to ensure that they're standardized extracts, so you know exactly how much you're getting.
But also, you know, hormone support, guys, is also maintaining a lean body mass. And that's not just being skinny, it's being strong, having
Right.
muscle.
For sure.
Really is going to help your hormones, eating properly, sleeping properly.
Right.
All of these things affect our hormones. So it comes, again, lifestyle. full
Factor
spectrum.
4 arthritis, same one from Sweet Melissa. Yes, you bet. Factor 4 omega-3 fatty acids, curcumin. Made curcumin's Ayurvedic, like Indian medicine for three millennia, like 3,000 years now. So trust me, it's plenty of support, plenty of science to support it.
Right. Yes, Alyssa, about the men's multivitamins, both the men's and the women's were reformulated a ways back. We did a Zoom on this, so the color's a little different.
Yeah, and some of the sources changed, and some of them are extracts or botanical, so they will change even from one lot to the next. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I don't think we can keep cranking here. We would be here another hour.
Right. So
What do you see?
Oh. This is showing it.
Yeah, another question around the I love the question. I mean, we're asking about humic and fulvic acid, Shilajit, and I would show you my samples. I've been making different formulations of each. I have lots of stuff going on between the Shilajit, which is a humic and fulvic source, the black cumin seed oil. You're gonna love the chlorophyll concept that we're rocking on. Even zeolite, which is a great detox agent because it has some binding and absorbing properties that doesn't necessarily interact with drugs or chelate. It's just a natural source. So lots of that really cool stuff is in the works. And I know probably a lot of you watching today can appreciate how cool and unique those products are. And if you don't know about them, you will soon.
The new protein is not made with mushrooms. The new protein is whey.
Oh, yes. Citric acid from citrus, yes. Here's that question again. I have no idea. I don't
know. Just reading a couple different, this one says that the sleep patches give you a headache. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique.
Yeah.
Every sleep supplement works better for some than others. There's like not a known side effect, but I mean, you could be one that's sensitive to melatonin. Maybe the melatonin gives you a headache. It's again, just because you're experiencing something doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. It might just mean it just doesn't work for you. Are you looking more?
Source of the caffeine.
That's right. Oh, I have it. My notes.
But I know it's the organic caffeine is sourced from drives me nuts when I can't remember little things like that.
I'm gonna see if I have it.
Yeah, oh good. Yeah, no, we make sure we source our caffeine is sourced as an organic source.
Well, the product is certified organic.
Yeah, of course. All right, cool. So I think that's it. Let's bounce back over to Zoom real quick.
Yeah, so again, if your question did not get answered, I mean, we are over our 30-minute, but you guys can always email me. I do my best at getting back to you within that 24-hour period. Sometimes after our Monday Zooms, a lot come in.
Question came in from an anonymous attendee about they're on a prescription medication for weight loss, one of the Ozempic or Wegovy meds, and probably asking about how to kind of reverse insulin resistance and improve my blood pressure naturally. Like if you've waited a long time to start making lifestyle changes, weight loss can be stubborn. That's a fact. Metabolic rates have changed. Your body has become so much more inflamed that a lot of those normal processes for building muscle mass and reducing body fat don't always work as quickly or as easily as they once would have. So supplementing is an important aspect, but it's only one pillar. It's only one part of a successful weight loss kind of program. Lisa has a lot of experience and stories in that space with her clients and the things she's done. A lot of stuff is incredibly transformational, but each person is so different. Kind of have to find out what works best for you. And if you're going to use an Ozempic-like med, you're going to use it to jumpstart a weight loss program. 6 to 9 months is sort of the sweet spot. You go and you kind of realize as much benefit as you can. But if you come off of it, yes, of course, you can gain back a significant portion of that weight, assuming you haven't done anything else different. So,
right. Again, it's got to change your lifestyle as well.
and and there's simple things. I would start with supplements, but it's all the everything else as well. We appreciate it a lot now.
That's all I have.
Yeah, I forget where I was. I knew exactly
Okay.
where it came from, but
Coffee question, email.
yeah, exactly. So don't be shamed by the weight loss meds. Okay, cool. I keep saying okay, cool, and then more questions pull in. So,
Yes, both greens and reds can go in your smoothie just fine. If for some reason it causes any GI upset, it would be just the doubling up on the wheatgrass. But I mean, I could do it just fine. So just everybody's different.
Matthew asked if my vitamin D level is 35, what would you recommend the amount of K2D3 to take? Well, I don't know how much vitamin D you're currently taking, but me personally, if I'm at 35, I would want to experiment with how would I feel and how would my body respond if I was at 55. And so get there. It's hard to say. I don't know. It's if you're on vitamin D or not on any vitamin D, I would go to 4,000 units a day every day for probably a month and then have your blood levels checked again.
If you were already taking 2 and it wasn't going up.
Be mindful though. A lot of people are selling supplements with 5,000 and 10,000 units. So people are doing it, but I do feel it's slightly reckless, and the cost of our bottle for 60 capsules, it's amazing value. So you could go as high as you want. You could take 5 capsules equal to 10,000 units a day, but I don't know why you would want to do that long term. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, I wish to X that out. Yeah, that answer.
Fair. It is.
That's
Brain cells are made of cholesterol, Bruce. I agree. Cholesterol is incredibly important for cellular health. There's no doubt about that.
What is the name of B5?
Hold on, these two.
Yeah.
When will our product be out for acid reflux? We're not going to come out with an acid reflux product. We're just suggesting that a lot of the meds that you take for acid reflux alter drug absorption. Anthony asked for what is HMB on the creatine product? Beta hydroxy beta methyl butyrate is what it stands for, but it's a naturally occurring substance. Our bodies do make it, and it's incredibly important for muscle recovery. It plays a huge part in ensuring that as our muscle tissues are starting to torn apart and breaking down, that HMB is a rebuilding component, the byproduct of one of our amino acids, and so part of the normal cycle diminishes a little bit as we age, and especially if we're not eating a well-balanced diet. So HMB with creatine is sort of a nice synergistic combination.
So someone asked, why is B5 not in the multivitamin? B5 is pantothenic acid. It is in the multivitamin. All right, I feel like we should.
I hate to wrap it up because I love these. I just think
Yeah.
it's so much fun. There's so much random stuff, and it's neat. But Bruce, we have a veggie protein right now, plant-based fermented pea, along with organic hemp seed.
Yes, that is our vanilla, our one right here. That's our current one.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, it is fermented pea protein and hemp. And then the one coming out, our chocolate, will be whey with colostrum.
Can coffee help with bloating? Probably not. I mean, there's some fiber in there. So again, it's a prebiotic. It can help with satiety.
Depends on why you're bloated.
Yeah, exactly.
So again,
Good point.
It's like, goes back to that whole thing, finding the root cause. Like, if you're walking around bloated all the time, there's something else going on. Is it because you need the fiber? Then sure, it'll help. But if there's other issues, if it's gut dysbiosis, it won't help. It won't necessarily hurt, just won't help.
So you had a friend with gastric bypass that we should figure out what products are good for. You can email me and I'll help you with that question, because there definitely are nutrient considerations for people that have had bypass.
But one of the big thing that I've answered this question a few times before in emails, when you're comparing supplements, there are companies for gastric bypass that offer that you have to buy their supplements. And then if you compare like their multivitamin to our multivitamin, they're pretty similar, if not almost exactly like the same, in the sense of the nutrients that you're getting from the gastric bypass ones. We have those as well at the same doses. So it's about comparing them. It's kind of I feel like it's a marketing thing right there.
It's a question about timing of supplements and meds. If you're trying to avoid something, typically it's 1 hour before or 2 hours after. That's just general guidance if you're trying to separate from medications or other supplements.
Thank you, Tim. Welcome to our
Yeah,
first
awesome.
Zoom. If you have
Tim,
time,
holler.
go check out our other Zooms. We do record and
rock,
post
man.
everything.
I love kindness too. Goes a long way.
Yes, we do this once a month.
Yeah.
So, and again, they're all on our YouTube channel. So you can go back and find our other Q&As. They're all titled and listed. So I do think they're so informative, again, because you hear other people's questions and it just kind of helps everything for sure.
Somebody asked about how much factor 4 is too much. Well, at 1 gram of omega-3 fatty acids of EPA and DHA specifically, you're going to start to have that anti-inflammatory effect. Between 3,000 and 4,000 milligrams, which is 3 to 4 grams, you'll start to have an it alters your lipid profile a little bit, so it can lower your triglycerides. But beyond that, very little benefits, probably diminishing returns. So that would essentially be the equivalent of 8 soft gels, right? That would be 4,800 milligrams. So that would be 8 soft gels would be 4.8. There would never be any reason to go above that.
This is if you're in your 60s, if you're a female in your 60s, should you take the women's with iron? So if you're postmenopausal female, just because you're postmenopausal doesn't mean you don't need the iron. This again is based on blood work. If your doctor has told you, Susie, now that you're postmenopausal, avoid the iron, then avoid the iron in our women's multi, and we suggest taking the men's multi as it's formulated without the iron. But you can't just assume one, because you have one that you don't need the iron.
Is there a possibility of creatine in a capsule? No, because it's a fluffy powder. You notice when you get it in the tub, it's difficult. It would be hard in a capsule, hard to get that amount in a capsule.
Or take like 6.
Yeah,
6 or 7
and honestly, it's unflavored. It's pretty easy to just throw into some smoothie or other beverage. Mix it with your aminos.
Prostate health, we do have lycopene in the men's multivitamin.
Okay.
All right.
So good. All right. I'm not even gonna bounce back to YouTube because then I'm gonna get down another.
Right. But again, if your question did not get answered, or if this maybe started new questions in your head, please email me, lisa@livegood.com. And
I just love this. Best combo of products for a competitive swimmer. I'm just glad you're a competitive swimmer, but that is a very, very physically demanding sport.
right.
So email us and
Yeah,
I'll send you over what I think you should do. The glyconutrients, the glycans, I'm a big fan of that concept as far as sort of cellular communication, cellular health. We are working on that. It's been actually in the works for a very long time, but we just had a hard time with other ingredients. Cool. All right, guys.
All right. We're good?
We're out of here.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Again, take the time to watch some of our other videos as well from the previous weeks, because you will learn a lot. Follow up on the previous Q&As, as those will answer your questions as well. And as always, email us for any further questions, and we'll see you next Monday.
Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.